Okay, so we've got a question here. We're going to try and solve this second order linear differential equation. So we need to find y of x from this equation here. Y double prime equals sine of 3x. And we've got these two boundary conditions. Y of pi over 2 is 0 and y of 0 is 0. So easiest way to go about this is to integrate out this y double prime. This y double prime simply just means the second derivative. So if we just rewrite this as d squared y over dx squared equals sine of 3x. All we can do now is just do the old separation of variables method, bring the x over this side and leave the y over this side. So now we've got d squared y equals sine of 3x dx squared. Now if you want, you can change the way that this is written. So what we could do is we could do the dy twice and then that equals sine of 3x dx dx. So all we're going to do now is put two integration symbols in each one, and we're going to integrate twice. So integral of dy, so we start from the inside and then work our way out. Okay, so now let's mark out where we're going to start our first integration. So this part here and this part here. Let's do those two parts first. So integrating on this side, so the integral just regards to dy, that's just going to give us a 1. But we need to put this integral and dy back in. So the integral of 1 dy. And on this side, put these back in just to start. So the integral sine and our dx. And now let's integrate this sine 3x with regards to x. Well, we know sine is going to leave us with a cosine. So it's going to be negative cosine. So that's cosine of 3x. And there's going to be a negative in there. And by the chain rule, the 3x, we need a variable, a constant multiple, constant of 1/3. So 1/3 cosine 3x. And then not forgetting our arbitrary constant, we need to add on a plus, well, we could put a plus c, but in this case, I'm going to use the letter a. You can use any letters that you like. So plus a dx. Okay, so now let's integrate again, and now we just got this last box here to finish off. So integral of 1 with regards to y just leaves us with y. Okay, the integral of cosine 3x. So cosine is going to give us sine, and that's 3x. And then by the chain rule, we need to bring down another third. So now we're going to have 1 over 9. And this minus sign is going to stay. And then we've got plus a. Now this a also needs to be integrated with regards to x. So that's plus ax. And now we need another constant. So we're going to do plus b. Okay, so I'm now going to put this up here. And then we'll use our boundary conditions and see if we can find our constants a and b. Okay, so we've got our formula here. Y of x equals minus 1/9 of sine 3x plus ax plus b. Now we've got these two conditions here to use. Now, as sine of 3 times 0 will become 0, and this will become 0, it's looking like using the second one here will be the best place to start. So let's use y of 0 equals 0. So y of 0 equals 0 equals minus 1/9 sine 3 times 0. I'm just going to plug that in so as you can see what's happening, plus a times 0 plus b. Let's just keep this separate from our calculations. Okay, now we know that this disappears to 0 and this disappears to 0. So that's just going to leave us with 0 equals b. So b is 0. So that's cool. That takes care of that. So now we need to use the y pi over 2 is 0, and then hopefully from that we can find our a. So using y pi over 2 equals 0. So now we've got y pi over 2 equals 0 equals. Now I'm going to use this equation here using the x to be the pi over 2. So minus 1 over 9 sine. Now 3x will give us 3 pi over 2. Plus ax, so plus a pi over 2. Now we don't need to worry about the b because we know that that's going to be 0. Okay, so sine of 3 pi over 2. Now we know that is going to be minus 1. So minus 1 times minus 1/9, that's going to give us positive 1/9. So I'm just going to write there that equals minus 1. So now we've got 0 equals minus 1 over 9 times minus 1 plus a pi over 2. So 1/9, this will become, let's bring it over to this side and it will come back to being minus 1/9 again. So minus 1 over 9 equals a pi over 2. So this is a positive here, bring it to the other side, it's back to being a negative again. And the a pi over 2 will just come here. Okay, so now we need to try and get the a on its own. So if we multiply both sides by 2, so we've got minus 2 over 9 equals a pi. And now what we need to do now is just divide both sides by pi. So now we've got a equals minus 2 over 9 pi. So that's our value for our a. Okay, so now with these boundary conditions in mind, we're ready now to finish our solution. So we've now got, let's just write it in here, y of x equals minus 1/9 sine of 3x. So that's going to stay. But now we've got our arbitrary constants here. The b is 0, so we don't need, and it's minus 2 over 9 pi. Minus 2 over 9 pi, and that's multiplied by our x. So that is our function with these boundary conditions, knowing that the derivative is sine of 3 of x. Okay.